What is this egg-shaped green metal object found in an old home in northern Minnesota? It's 3 inches by 4 inches, it lies flat, and it weighs about a half pound. The flat piece is attached with a small screw. There is obvious wear around the opening, and there are no markings anywhere. So far, we have determined it is not a bottle opener. We tried to use it as such, and it didn't work. I did much creative Googling on this thing, and nothing has come up that has been remotely close to looking like this. If anybody has any idea, it would be appreciated. It's an Art Deco alarm clock base, made by the Ingersoll Watch Company and thought to have been sold during the 1930s to 1940s. It's marked on the back, patented March 31st, 1931, and it was patented by Frederick Wehlinger for the Waterbury Clock Company of Waterbury, Connecticut. Does anyone know what this is? It was found in Finland, near a farm that used to be farmland, about 30 kilometers from Turku. But I think the location doesn't really matter that much in this case. The text down there is hard to make out, but I can see the word Stockholm. I'm thinking it's part of some tool or old-fashioned farm machine. Any ideas as to what this might be? It's the base of an antique cream separator, made by Domo Separator Company Limited in Stockholm, Sweden, from the late 19th to the early 20th century. These early machines were worked with a hand crank to initiate the centrifugal process, though this source of power was later replaced with steam turbine engines, and later still with the widespread availability of electricity. What is this thing I found at Goodwill today in Pennsylvania? Around 9 by 6.5 inches, the handle swivels, and the hole on the right closes and opens with the handle movement. My first thought was an old credit card processor. Any guidance would be greatly appreciated. It's a portable cigarette making machine. It was patented on March 23, 1943 by Kelman Joseph Ptasnik of New York City. You buy empty cigarette paper tubes with or without filters. Gently stick an empty cig on the silver injector tip on the side and tamp the tobacco of your choice into the slot on top. And then you crank the handle. It's basically a way to save a few bucks by loading your own. What is this tool? My dad handed me this tool and said I might need it someday. I can't figure out what it's used for, and he laughs every time I ask. The handle is hollow, and I keep thinking it's some kind of jig to rig cables. It was in a box of stuff inside his 2016 truck, and my 2 brothers and I had no idea. I'd very much appreciate any help you could give me. It's a vintage oil can spout, for when oil was sold in cans. The sharp tip punctured the top of the can, and then it acted like a spout. They haven't sold oil in cans since the mid-1980s, which is why he's laughing. It is for oil, but in the movie Nothing But Trouble, they used it for fruit punch. What are these small silver-toned fine chains with 3 clips? Each clip is about 2/3 of an inch long, and it's too fine for a sweater clip. I thought perhaps a collar chain, but why 3 clips and 2 chains? I did a Google image search, and I couldn't find anything. I searched for sweater clip or collar chain with 3 clips, with no dice. If it were more robust, I would think maybe a skirt lifter. Does anyone know what this could be used for, or what it might be called? These are antique lingerie clips, designed to prevent unsightly lingerie shoulder straps from emerging from newly fashionable sleeveless dresses. Here's from the Underpinnings Museum, which says it's from the 1920s. This jewelry was made with 3 clips linked by a chain, allowing the shoulder straps of a bra or slip to be anchored in beneath outer clothing. Lingerie clips varied greatly in design, and these particular clips would have come from the lower end of the market and were likely mass-manufactured, with a pretty Art Nouveau design stamped into each clasp. What is this device in an old abandoned building? This is on the top floor of a building built in 1880, in a room that was used as a dance hall, I believe. I thought maybe a timer of some kind, but there are no markings on it, and the handle rotates around. Any help is appreciated. That is an antique theater light dimmer from around the 1910s. I have one similar to it from a Masonic temple ballroom. It operates as a large variable resistor or potentiometer to regulate electrical current flow to lights. Usually, they don't put them in a box because they generate quite a bit of heat when the lights are turned down. I got this bottle gifted to me by my 79-year-old grandmother, and I've always been interested if it is gold and where the hell it comes from. Can the people please help me find what this is? I am genuinely curious as to where it came from. When I got it, it had no labels, it wasn't attached to anything, and there was no sign as to where it came from. Does anybody know? It's a vintage 14-karat gold and glass bottle pendant, commonly known as a gold shaving or gold flake charm. These were typically constructed with a glass vial and 14-karat yellow gold shavings or nuggets encased inside. These items are often associated with vintage estate jewelry from the mid-20th century. What are these wooden dumbbells I found in my New Mexico Airbnb? Around 6 inches long by 3.5 inches in diameter, made of wood, with no writings or maker's mark. Any insights would be appreciated. These are old wooden yarn spools. Like this example from 1933. They are often repurposed today as decorative items. These items were historically used in textile mills to store spun yarn or thread. Picture 50 to 100 yards of thread wrapped around them. What is this 9-inch winged metal piece with a lid and handle, found in a family member's box with a 1950s Pontiac horn button? It screws onto something, and it has no logos, text, etc. I would welcome any information or ideas. That is the base part of a Boyce motometer, which was a thermometer designed to go onto your radiator cap on cars in the 1910s through 30s when the radiator cap was still on the outside. The hole in the middle is where the actual thermometer would have been mounted. It stuck up and had a ring around it, allowing the driver to see the temperature of the engine from the driver's seat. The wings were for versions specifically designed for Ford Model Ts and Model As, as a way for owners to add some flair to their otherwise plain cars. What is this metal ring I bought at a vintage store? I have no clue what this is, but I will be using it to hold jewelry. It's about palm-sized, with a coil on the outside of the ring, and 6 hinged clasps that can be opened and closed. I guess it would be from the 1950s, maybe. What is this intended to be used for? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.